Okay, how we're going to change these electrolytics. I'm going to use terminal strips. Several to select from there, so I ought to have something that would get the job done. Got a couple of 2-section caps, one there and one down there. And we do have these 30 mic 200 volt that I showed you previously. There's 2 of them. And I'm just going to replace them with these smaller ones. So in looking at this one, the way it's hooked up, the minus lead goes to pin 5 of that tube, rectifier tube. Plus lead goes to ground over here. So if we look on the tube, we got a ground tab right here. So we'll just put it from here to here. And that'll do away with the larger one. Get it out of the way so we'll have more room to work. Alright, after a bit of figuring out where I can put the terminal strips and attach everything, this is what I came up with. I've mounted terminal strips and put caps in that look a lot neater than this, with the length of the wires and the way this is all had been modified anyway. It's about the best I could come up with. But we got a terminal strip here and one over here, and we mounted the caps, 5 of them, on those 2 strips. And this cap, I use this terminal strip right there. I think you can see it. That's what it's mounted on. These are stiff leads too. It's really stiff wire, so it's not going anywhere. It won't bend over and short out. It'll stay right where it's at. And we're working pretty well. I have the Shango video generator hooked up. That's channel 4. And that's 3. Now 2, I get nothing, so we still got some tuner issues. I will do some inspection on it, see if I see anything obvious that could be causing the detuning. But okay, before we get started on that tuner, doing some checking on it, we've got another problem. This 12SN7 tube right here. Watch what happens when I tap it. Pretty sure it's bad. I put a question mark on it. And we'll get us another 12SN7 out of our spares. Now it could be a connection on the bottom. Possibly I could reflow the sorter connection to take care of it. But let's see if this, yeah, that tube seems to be working fine. So anyway, we solved that problem. So let's do some checking on this tuner. Something obvious that maybe jumps out at me. But let me do some checking and I'll tell you if I find anything. A little alignment here on the tuner, and there's individual coils. I think you can see it's numbered 2, 3, 4 all the way up, and there's a coil inside that corresponds to each number. Pretty good success on, this is channel 2 on the Shango, and there's 2. Pretty good. Fine tuning's right in the middle. We'll go to 3. And 4. and 5. Now when we go to 6, we're getting nothing. And I think I found out why. The number 6 adjustable coil, this one right here, see, it lines up with the 6. And it's loose, where these others are tight. So thinking something's broke there where the connection is on that coil. But all these others are good and tight. They don't move around when you try to adjust them. So we're going to look into that. From 2 to 5, 2, 3, 4, and 5, they all look good. They're adjusting, so I think our tuner's fine until we get to channel 6, and we'll see if we can figure out what's causing that coil to be loose. Well, we got lucky on the tuner. That's channel 6 out of my Bandersentv modulator. That coil that was loose, I was able to resolder the ends of it onto the terminals on the wafer of the tuner, and then did have to adjust the coil where we're getting channel 6, but there it is. You got a little buzz in the sound, but I'm sure that can be adjusted. We'll get that taken care of. Yeah, just a slight adjustment on the sound, and now we're good on it. Come on, man. See you. So now I'm going to put the 7-inch CRT in. Let's see what our picture looks like. You can pretty much conclude that the chassis is ready. I'm going to try to do some cleaning on the top. Here's all the parts that I changed in the set. There are 30 resistors, 28 caps that you see here, plus those 6 that we changed in the cans that we mounted on the terminal strips. So 34 caps, 3 tubes, and of course the selenium rectifier. Been working on trying to straighten this cardboard piece on the back. If you remember, it was all curled up the opposite way, so used a heat gun, just kept heating it up and rolling it the opposite way like that. And I think we're good enough now that you can see it's kind of raised up in the middle now, so when we fasten that down, I think that should work okay. I'm going to do a little more cleaning and see if I can make it look better. Just using this hand cleaner and toothbrush. I stopped right here. So hard to get off 70 plus years of dirt, fingerprints, but we can make it look a little better. And now that we're working okay, I pulled the tube back out, the CRT, and we're going to do some cleaning on this chassis, more than we did initially. Try to get it a little shinier. Alright, after a bit of cleaning on the chassis, looks a little better. That back fiberboard piece turned out pretty good. Still stained around the controls where they were adjusted over the years, but looks pretty good. Cleaned the wires on the CRT socket with some acetone. Alright, what am I going to do with the cabinet? Really not much, but just some cleaning. We'll have to clean the front, and I think it pulls out. I think there's a board on the back that holds all of this in, so we'll get that pulled out and cleaned. The decals still look really good. The on and off, it's got some wire on it, but these others, they're still pretty bright. Grill cloth looks good, so I'm going to leave it alone. Yeah, we have 4 screws in this board here. We'll pull that out. That'll get that piece of glass out where we can clean it. And this dial just got a clip. And we'll see if we can make that look a little better. Alright, that came out rather easy. 4 screws. And we got a really thick piece of glass. How thick that is. That's pretty dirty. Yeah, these feet, I believe, are kind of worn out. I think I have some new ones over there that we can put on that. So we'll take them off. In order to get this area down in here around these grills clean, I'm going to pull that grill cloth out. Just impossible to get down in there and not stain the grill cloth, so see if we can get it pulled out. Just has staples, piece of fiberboard or cardboard. Starting to clean on this cabinet, and I think you can tell where I've stopped. Hand cleaner. Now this is the smooth type, no pumice, but does a great job of cleaning up this old finish. Well, that that cleaned up really, really good. We've got a little scrape here. I might try to touch that up with some stain. And a little bit finish missing here at the bottom, along with a piece of veneer. But the rest of the cabinet, hey, it looks good enough. Alright, doing a little touch up with some walnut and some cherry stain. Really help these louvers down in the bottoms of those. Before I put the stain up, I'll do this bottom edge underneath the front. Did a little wood repair. That's what that blue tape's for. Has some veneer that was loose right here, so I just glued it back. Here's the new feet I'll be putting on. Got felt on the bottom and plastic with a nail. And I think I can put them back right where the old ones were. Okay, because I am going to put the magnifier back on the set. Let's get this cleaned up. These are the retainers that screw in the top of the set. And that one is okay. As you can see, it's got a screw in it that will thread down in. This one's broke off. The screw part's still there with the fine threads that screw up into the piece. It's just broken there on the part that screws down into the cabinet. Hopefully I can find a screw either to replace this and make some kind of a screw on the end of it to where it's thread down in the cabinet, or I could possibly just put a screw down through the center of it as long as it's below that part that the rod slides through. Well, I think I came up with an okay solution. I just cut a screw off, threaded it down in the cabinet, and I epoxied the holder onto the screw. So we'll let that dry and see if it works. Well, we've been playing about 4 hours. Picture still looks good. And the cabinet's ready, so let's get the chassis put back in. Well, we're all back together. And I have the magnifier on there just to kind of give you an idea of how much it does increase the picture size. And the focus is actually pretty decent. So I'd say that's about the equivalent of a 9 to 10 inch set. I guess it's according to how close you put the magnifier. If you scoot it out more, you kind of see the difference there. It makes it a little larger. Let's take it off. And quite a difference in screen size when you compare them. Just hold it up in front of it. And our knobs worked out pretty good. I'm not 100% sure that these knobs went with this set. I've seen some with different knobs, but I have seen one set online that had this type knob on it with the knurl. So we're going to go with them. They all work good. Channel selector points to channel 6. That in right there. So that worked out okay. And while not perfect, the cabinet looks pretty good. Just that cleaning that we did, that suits me. And I think that is the original back. These antenna terminals, I'm not sure about them because I had to put a different screw and raise them up to get the back on, and they're really close like that. So, but hey, it works. That's all that matters. And the original cord, we was able to reuse it. It's kind of hard and brittle, but it's still working okay. And here's an ad from back in the day whenever this set was new. And there it is right there. $169.95. That concludes the restore on a Tele-Tone. 1948 model 149. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Hey, if you like this video, we have many more on our channel, so why not consider subscribing? We would really appreciate it. Thanks.